All right, welcome back, traders. Hopefully, you had a wonderful weekend. We had some interesting price action here this weekend. ETH pushing up to about what did we tag, like $2,300 the other day. Nice weekly bullish engulfing candle coming through here. Very nice looking structure being put in. Pretty much looks like a straight shot to about 46 to 4,800, tagging the top of the range. ETH on a run, no doubt about it. We're looking at the weekly MACD here, looking very nice separation on that. The monthly chart is really what we're really looking at, and this just starting to build up its momentum. So to me, this looks like an ETH run in the making. Like we spoke about last stream, this monthly cross up here dictating momentum coming into the asset. And this is, man, we've been waiting for this for a long time. So we're finally seeing it. I'm looking at like a major, looks to be like a major ascending triangle here on ETH. And we'll take a look at it. I think ETH is just going to continue to show this strength, and Bitcoin kind of in, not the back seat, but it's losing a bit of dominance. Nice close coming in here for Bitcoin as well. We obviously need Bitcoin to remain also strong in an uptrend for the altcoins to really go on their next rallies here. But you can see that Bitcoin putting in a nice weekly candle here as well, holding in this range. Like, this just looks like a big bull flag up here. Yeah, we do have momentum kind of tapering here on the weekly, but I think that this is more of just consolidation as we've been seeing. If you go to the monthly chart, you can see the monthly stochastics still giving you that cross up. So that means monthly momentum is still driving the price. The price is higher here. We haven't tagged outside the monthly Bollinger Band. If we do that, we know that we're probably at a topping point or a local topping point for this leg. All right, so something to kind of just pay attention to. You can see this momentum is also starting to build up again here on Bitcoin. We are looking at lower levels on the MACD here for now, but this could start to ramp up again, and that's when we can really start to see Bitcoin sort of take off again. We are in overbought territories here on the monthly time frame, but nothing to be concerned about just yet in terms of like a cycle top or anything just like that just yet. I'm looking at confluence areas like somewhere between the 80 and 85 regions on Bitcoin on the monthly time frame, as I feel like that is where we will see Bitcoin sort of top out. Okay, so I think we got some time left here. We're going to take a look at Tether dominance. Then we'll look at the indices and we'll look at the DXY as well. Yeah, beautiful. So the monthly stochastic RSI cross down here on Tether is starting to take form and take place. We're starting to see this roll over. That is exactly what we want to see if we want continuation in crypto risk assets here. We started to see some of these altcoins start to really pop off. This looks like a big bearish consolidation here for Tether. We are waiting to see if we actually break this low. If we end up breaking this low, I think this is going to catalyze a major alt season. And we haven't really started it yet. I know ETH has been pushing, but I'm looking for a break below the this 60% region here on Bitcoin dominance. Really, this 58 level. If you look left on the chart, you can see this region right here. Once we start to break that, I think kind of what I drew. So we'll probably come all the way back down to like test 50, and that'll be a big take profit area. And Bitcoin dominance will probably get pushed back up because people take profit back into Bitcoin, or the altcoins just retrace and pull back a lot harder than Bitcoin after they go on such explosive runs. And so the Bitcoin dominance will go back up, but I think eventually what happens is you get that last push into the end of the cycle. And it's going to be something like this, where we're going to see, Bitcoin dominance probably, I would think probably is going to make a higher low than the previous bear market low. And that'll be the end of the run. but we got some time. We got some time. Remember, this monthly time frame is just now starting to roll over, and so we probably have some months here for this to actually really take fruition. All right, how's it going, Angel? How you doing, brother? So that's basically the long and short of it here. We're going to see drawdowns along the way, as we've been seeing. Nothing, unfortunately, just goes straight up until we get into like the mania phase of this cycle, which I don't think we're there just yet. But we're approaching it. We're approaching it. We are very much so approaching that. All right, so let's look at the dollar index. Then we'll look at the NASDAQ and the S&P and the indices. So, so the dollar index put in a pretty big candle last month there, bouncing pretty significantly back into the trend. Yeah, so I mean, it's possible that the dollar index actually kind of maybe goes sideways here for a bit. I don't suspect it really having that much strength here, okay? Especially with a rate cut coming in September. I think that's actually going to make the dollar actually continue to go lower. So altcoin seasons will be less explosive than previous cycles. I don't believe that that's going to be the case. I think the reason why it's been taking so long this cycle is because it's an institutionally driven cycle, and they're not so privy into just going straight into, they can't even get into low caps like that, like there's not enough liquidity for institutions to be buying sub $100 million market caps. That's retail. Retail is going to push those really baby cap coins a lot higher, which, yeah, they're not in yet, right? We haven't seen that happen yet. So you're seeing the bigger L1s get some love here, right? So like ETH, XRP, HBAR, some of those major L1s have been getting some nice bids because institutions can actually buy that stuff. Probably not like those memes, but Dogecoin is definitely something that they could buy. And Shiba Inu is something that they probably could buy. Like the bigger, more blue chip tokens are definitely gonna be potential rotations for them. But I think they're really focused on DeFi stuff. I don't think they're so much focused on meme coins. If you want my honest opinion about that, like your bit tensors and your I think like Tau is one that one you should really be paying attention to. This is a major AI play. See the accumulation structure here. It looks pretty good. I still think that this is really cheap down here. All right, so a lot of these AI coins haven't even really started to really run again. They will. I think that we're going to see that. Virtuals is definitely the one that I think a lot of these bigger institutions can buy. Okay, it's a several $billion market cap at this point. So they can definitely dip their toes into something like this. You can see that structure looks really nice, like a higher low being put in there. You got what looks to be like a massive pennant. Okay, that's a pretty big structure. So yeah, all the little baby virtual coins that are going to ride with this token right here. That's retail stuff, and I think that's the stuff that you can really potentially see crazy moves on because they're low cap. Like if we were to look at, I think you guys are aware of this one, this BIOS coin that I traded, or that I am trading, I should say. It's $2.3 million market cap today. But man, like a beautiful falling wedge breakout down here. Right off the bottom there, right off the 786 fib extension, double bottom, and and just candling out. I mean, from this low, I think it's already like 5x from the bottom. That's, oh, it's like 3x from the low. All right, so you get the point, but the target on something like this is actually the top of the wedge pattern, you know, and from here, that's still like a 7, 8x, you know, some crazy gains to be had, is what I'm trying to say on some of these virtual plays. Convo is a major one. I think this is another major structure as well. It looks almost identical to the virtuals setup, right? This is alluding to about a 40x move. I mean, it's a $3.5 million market cap with 2.4 million in liquidity. That's a pretty good liquidity to market cap ratio. This is actually, I would say, pretty liquid for a really small cap coin, especially for little retail guys that have like a couple grand, you know, that are going to be like, oh, what do I buy? You know, I mean, well, this could be a good one. You know, your 3 days about to turn around here. Your daily probably giving you that buy signal. Yep. Yeah. So this is looking pretty juicy down here. I gotta say that looks pretty good. Well, and 10K ETH, I would say probably pretty quick, man. As soon as we start breaking like 4,800, I think within the next month or two, we'll see that. I don't see it really stopping. Yeah, we're going to get some pauses here along the way, some pullbacks we'll probably get a pullback at 4,800, 4,900, potentially if Bitcoin is like pulling back or something. But there's nothing really much up here. If you look at the line chart, you could really see there's really not much up here. Oh, there's probably gonna be a ton of people trying to short the top of this range here. All right, but I think what ends up happening is it'll probably, you know, get stopped for a couple days or something, or maybe whatever. We might do something like this where we tag it and then we go sideways for a bit up here, and then we just break it because that monthly momentum is so strong. Just crossing up on the monthly like that. Exactly, man. ETH is like green light for these institutions, man. It's not even like a thing anymore. Like, I mean, also like you got the monthly clip in here too. Okay. Like everything on this chart is super bullish looking on the high time frame. Anyone that's shorting ETH up here is going to get probably wrecked. Anyways. Yeah, we can look at XRP. Sure. So XRP, obviously, you know, outperforming ETH, you know, breaking out of that bull flag up there again. You know, I had a target up here about 750, this next fib extension. You know, you got some room here. You can see on the bands, once it comes up there, you probably want to be getting out. It's already really, I will say XRP looks pretty heated, even on the monthly time frame. Your weekly here kind of got this reset. You got some room to run, though, on XRP. Okay. You know, once you start getting to these 90 levels on the weekly, it's probably time to just get out. Like, there's no real reason to stay in this stuff once you're up there. You know, we were talking about XRP when it was, you know, down here. I think even early on, like, you know, 2023, we were talking about it in this 30 cent region. You know, yeah, I mean, 2-year hold or whatever. But some nice gains. It's just a repeat of the previous pattern. You can clearly see it's just an elongated version of this pennant that it had down here in 2013. It's just a lot smaller market cap. So I feel like you're in this move right here from April of 2017. It went on to make basically 2 more legs up. Okay. And it might do that. It might do one of these and then one more push into that $20 region. It could do that. Okay. If it's going to copy something similar to what it did back here, I think you're like right here on this chart right now. You're like in April or May of 2017 before you get this push, this consolidation, and then your blow off move. That's basically where I think you're at on this chart. Okay. Just pay attention to those RSIs. If those RSIs get heated and you don't get that second leg, you don't want to get caught up in this being at the top. Okay. But I don't think that it's topped out just yet. I think we're going to see a pretty big move up here on XRP. $7 region looks about right from a Fibonacci standpoint anyway. Sure. All right, let's look at the S&P. We'll look at the NASDAQ too, and we'll go from there. I'm going to go ahead and say that the NASDAQ probably looks pretty strong. Yeah. H-bar, yeah. I think I'm on my original profile post from 2023 when I originally gave the trade call at 4 cents. The target was like $1.50 to $1.75 on H-bar. Solana, we can take a look at, but I'll show you here. Let's just look at the H-bar chart for all sakes and purposes here. I'll look at it again on TradingView Live here. But if you guys follow my TradingView account, you'll be able to see some of these posts that I made. You know, maybe a lot of people ignore them, but June 19th, 2023, the swing trade was posted. Okay, multi-year position trade on H-bar. The price was 4.5 cents. You had the triple RSI bullish divergence here at the this fib extension here. You know, putting in the higher low, you can see that the RSI was coming back up. That was an ideal place to take a long-term swing trade on H-bar. And you can see I have this plotted to about $1.74. You can press the play button, right? Okay, I think we had some slight deviation outside the pattern, and they ripped it back in and double bottomed here, and you're just sitting right on the fib extension right now. 35 cents is incoming here for the top of that range, and then a all-time high range break at 56. And then I think you get that blow-off move into about that, that 170 region. That just makes the most sense to me. I plotted this like 2 years ago, so nothing's changed on this chart. Okay. Solana, we can take a look at Solana. Let's see. Solana. I think I had like a $600 to $800 target on Solana. Yeah, 650s. That's the fib extension up there. Can it go higher or go higher than the 1272? Sure. These are just for gauges, okay? Like, Solana went on this big leg here. We had a similar leg here, and we just kind of been ranging here for the last several months, or maybe better part of a year. So yeah, it could go on to make some major move. I don't think it's going up to $1,800 or anything crazy like that, but I would be targeting 650. And if you do break that, maybe up to the $1,000 level is potentially possible for Solana. But I really think base is where it's going to be at this rotation. Coinbase just added base to Coinbase. So you can actually buy base assets on Coinbase now without having to go to Aerodrome or a DEX. Makes it a lot easier for retail to just buy that stuff straight on their exchange now. So I think that's something where you guys should really be paying attention to that. A lot of those virtuals coins I was just talking to you about are on there, and now they're going to be open access to everybody there. So Aerodrome Finance, I think, is something you guys should be looking at too. Even the meme coins, yes, Toe. Even the meme coins. So Aerodrome Finance, I think, is the DEX, right? Is the main DEX on base. If you want a shoe-in, I would say this is like a shoe-in trade. It's, obviously it's a DEX, so they make money off fees and stuff. But look at this chart. So here's your weekly break in the squeeze. This is a little bit of a larger cap. I would actually consider this to be more of a blue chip DEX play. It's a very nice structure. This looks to me like it's going straight back up to $2. You end up breaking that $2 level. I think you got some room to run here, maybe like $4 to $5. Okay, maybe more. I mean, obviously these are conservative targets, but you know, you got this big flag. It looks like a big flag. That's what it looks like. Yeah, $4 to $5 probably seems reasonable. Could be more, but you know, just it's already a pretty big cap. It's already $1 billion market cap for DEX. I think that's pretty big. Actually, it's not really that big. Radium, I think, is up there too. But yeah, Radium looks really good. Looks really good. We called out Radium when it was like 20 cents. Oh man. I didn't take that trade, man, but I probably should have. It's okay. I can't take them all, unfortunately. But man, yeah, there's a lot of good trades that have been posted on TradingView here. Yeah, June 22nd, 2023, Radium, the descending broadening formation. Obviously, at this point in time, I was just giving the range to like the dollar region, but I mean, you know, still, you know, if you just bought and held that, you'd be sitting pretty right now. This thing traded up to $8. That's a 40x. Okay, yeah, cool stuff. I think Avalanche is something that nobody's really talking about, and I think Avalanche is going to make a major move. All right. So Avalanche is also in a big bull flag here. All right. I know that it doesn't get the trading volume, and I know it's not as hot as some of these other L1s, but I think Avalanche is a sleeper that last cycle went on a nice run. It's in a big flag pattern here. I think this has lots of growth potential versus some of these other L1s that aren't really being discussed so much. You want to look at DeFi Llama. I think that's a really good place to look at TVL. You can see where capital inflows are coming in, and you can see that Avalanche's TVL is just ticking up. Okay, and eventually what happens is you get this kind of blow off move on the TVL, and that's when you're going to see price appreciation on the asset, and that's when you're also going to see things on that chain like the DEX, the Joe DEX or whatever. This thing's probably in the I mean, like this is probably really low risk right now. Okay, down here, like look at this chart on the monthly. It looks pretty bottomed out. Yeah, I mean, you could easily strategize a trade setup right here. This looks pretty good, I would say. You're like what, 40% off the low? Who cares? You know. It looks like a macro double bottom here, and if Avalanche really makes a run, you're looking at like a big butterfly type of setup here on something like this. Yeah, I mean that's exactly right. The 1272 would be like $13, $14 for Joe Coin. I mean, I don't know if it's going to get there, but you guys get the point. Like the all-time high is $5. That's a major trade setup right there. Okay. So yeah, just pay attention to TVL and Avalanche. I think that's an opportunity potentially. So, all right, cool. Let me know what else you guys want to look at. Some of these ETH stocks like Bit Digital, these guys rolled all their Bitcoin for ETH. I mean, you know what's going to happen here. It's the same setup as ETH. Look at the monthly. You get the cross up on the monthly. They get earnings in 4 days. Yeah. BTCS, we gave this call, I think like $2 or $3 a share. It ran up to 7, pulled back, and I mean, look at the RSI. This thing has got a lot of room to run on the monthly time frame. So it's in a big squeeze. Yeah. There's a lot of trades, guys. How's Orca? Orca's probably doing okay. Yeah, I mean, that just looks like a big accumulation to me. You guys see that, right? So look, range bound here, just kind of holding the bottom of the structure. It looks like your when Solana starts to go, this looks like it's probably gonna do something like this. You probably get like a 1, 2, 3 wave out, something like that on Orca. It's not the strongest DEX on Solana, but I think it does get some volume. And your monthly looks great. Look at that bullish divergence, man. Look at that. Look at the stochastic RSI. This is very telling that what's to come here for this asset. Momentum is coming into the asset. So looks very strong. Looks very good on momentum. That's really all you need to pay attention to, guys. High time frame momentum is really how you capture the value. Okay. I mean, you want to look for entries. You might want to use like a 2-day or a 3-day chart. But zooming out gives you the whole picture as to how long maybe you should be holding these things. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So that's, yeah. I mean, let's look at Crow. Yeah. Sorry, man. Okay. Crypto.com is a major, retail, exchange site. This is nicely set up. I have this plotted already. I think every single time we came down to the bottom of this range, everyone was always asking me, is Crow a buy? I'm like, this is where you want to be buying it, at the bottom of the range. Yeah, looks great, man. Again, with the monthly stochastic crossing up, giving you that momentum. You're clipping on the wave trend here, right? Nice clip right there. You got momentum coming in. You might be attempting to break a squeeze. Looks solid. Like it's got a lot of room to run. I'm giving a 5, 6x on this play. You could end up doing more, obviously, but you gotta just kind of keep it conservative with some of these plays because, well, this is kind of a major. It's like a major exchange, right? It's a $5 billion market cap. But yeah, after ETH runs, you're going to see all these L1s run, exchange tokens run, utility tokens, DeFi run, meme coins will run, low caps will run, mid caps will run, all that stuff after ETH goes up. And I would say as soon as ETH starts breaking its all-time high, these other coins are going to start getting rotations in. They're going to definitely front run the AI coins because that's been the narrative the whole cycle. So definitely pay attention to those. Like I had mentioned, virtuals, all the virtuals agents, BitTensor, that's another major AI, Render, some of those other major blockchains. Those will probably all do pretty well, I would imagine. Matic was, I think, asked for. Polygon, yeah. I'm not really a big fan of Polygon right now. I'm not saying it won't do well. I just think that these other L1. I mean, you know what though? I mean, it looks like a big bull flag. Maybe there's something being built here that I don't know. Looks good. Looks very low risk on this chart, man. Yeah, it looks like it's going to make a major move. It looks like it can do it. Okay, I take that statement back. All right, I do. It's very low risk here. It's in its second cycle. So, yeah, man, you could be looking at $6, dude. They can get up there. Do some crazy stuff, man. You know what the altcoin markets do when we go into an altcoin season. So just take it step by step here. You got to break that channel. All right. You got to break that channel and you got to start pivoting, and something like this is what I'd be looking at. I'd be looking for this, move up to like 50 cents. Maybe if you pull back to like 30 and you break it, you get some consolidation here before you get your next legs up. Right. And so that's kind of what you'd be looking for in this type of scenario. All right. Cool. Yeah. All these charts look set up on high time frames, man. Anyone that's bearish on altcoins right now should be not trading. They should not be trading because high time frames give you the whole picture. It's very unlikely and very low probability that the high time frames don't play out. Okay, people that sit on daily charts or 4-hour charts or whatever, there's a lot of manipulation that goes on those charts. But on the high time frames like this, very unlikely. Very, 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 very unlikely. There goes ETH, actually. Just went green on the day. So there you go. So ETH's going to make a continuation. Looks like it's going to continue to try to break or tag and touch the all-time high there. We haven't even started printing these overbought candles on ETH, all right? So once ETH starts printing these overbought candles, I think it'll be time to really start scaling out of stuff. And we'll be letting you guys know that stuff, all right? So we don't want anyone getting caught up in these tops, especially with altcoins. Listen, it's different if you get caught up in a top on Bitcoin, okay, versus a low cap altcoin or something that who knows if it'll be around next cycle. We know Bitcoin is not going anywhere. We also know that ETH really isn't going anywhere either, okay? But listen, well, I'm here almost every Sunday. Last week, sorry, it was my mom's birthday, so I actually took the week off of streaming. But I'm here every week, guys. You guys know that. Whether bull market, bear market, sideways market, boring market, doesn't matter. I'm here to try to give you the best value that I can, and that's it. All right. Let me know if you guys have any other questions or anything. I feel like we're kind of reiterating the same things we've been reiterating since April, this April low on the ETH Bitcoin ratio when we identified that looks like ETH bottomed out. And since that low, the ETH Bitcoin ratio has gone up quite significantly, almost doubled up since the low, right? Right after the oversold candles. ETH Bitcoin outperforming Bitcoin by about 100%. Gold and silver, yeah, well, we can check gold and silver. So gold's pretty heated, but I think it's possible. We could be, man, I don't know, dude. Gold up here is like 90 on the RSI, man. I wouldn't be touching gold up here personally. I don't see value in it up here. Yeah, gold's yeah, it hasn't started rolling over just yet, but I wouldn't be looking to buy gold up here by any means. Although, you haven't confirmed anything yet. This just looks like consolidation. Look at these wicks, though. I'd be paying attention to those wicks and how this monthly candle closes. It could very well squeeze out and make one more push up. Okay. Definitely not saying it can't do that. It's still very bullish. In fact, your weekly just reset. So there is a good chance that you do maybe get one more push out of gold here. Okay. You are still making higher lows. So 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts at breaking, and you're still making higher lows. So yeah, it's super bullish. Okay, I wouldn't be like shorting gold right now, not yet, not until you get some really strong confirmation candle to do that. All right, I just probably wouldn't want to trade it here. I just don't see a lot of upside left in it, at least in the short term anyway. Silver might be a better play because it's probably not anywhere nearly as extended as gold. Yeah, so silver just started breaking out, looks like. It's way behind gold. So yeah, silver looks like silver can go up to like $100. Yes, yes. In theory, yeah, the commodities should continue their moves, but gold might slow down a bit, is what I'm trying to say. It may not be as explosive because it already had an explosive move. There'll just be rotation into other commodities, like into silver, into platinum, into copper. Just got fucking destroyed because of the tariffs. But I think copper will actually make a run too, even though it just got destroyed. Copper might be a good long right now. Okay, how about that? Maybe not. That monthly looks pretty bad, actually. But yeah, maybe off this range low if you want to day trade this or something. This looks like a nice reset there. Okay. Yeah. Platinum, I would say is, had a nice breakout on platinum here too. So, you might see some consolidation on platinum or a pullback a bit here. Wait for it to base out somewhere and go sideways a bit to build up your momentum again. Your weekly kind of is looking like it's ticking down here. So you may not want to be buying platinum right now, right this second. But yeah, you could be looking at something like this where you consolidate for a bit and then you make your next leg out on platinum. It's repeating, in my opinion, it's repeating the same pattern it repeated back here during the 2000 bubble. Okay. And if it does repeat that, then we're probably going to get some big drawdown like we did here before going on a 7-year run. All right. So if it does do that, it looks like it comes back to 1100 or something and then just takes off for the next 5 to 7 years. Okay. So yeah, wait for that pullback if you want to get into platinum. I think that's pretty solid because if you look at like the monthly time frame on platinum, it's very clear. It's a very clear channel. It's like a very textbook setup. So looks good. Looks a lot lower risk than gold. Looks even a lot lower risk than silver. Okay. So looks pretty good. Is it platinum more scarce than gold? I'm not sure about that. I mean, it might be. I just don't think it's used as much as gold. Gold is just a bigger, better store of value than platinum is. If I had a metals portfolio, I would be rotating some gold into silver right now, and silver, and also rotating some gold into platinum right now because those ratios are in favor of that. Like if your goal is to accumulate gold, then you'd be rolling gold for platinum right now and gold for silver right now because the ratios are in favor of that. That way you can accumulate more gold. Just like in crypto, when you want to accumulate more Bitcoin, the trade was to roll Bitcoin for ETH in April, right? And so on. Gold is the king of the metals. Bitcoin's the king of crypto. It's the same concept. So, yeah, that's it. Everything's just going to continue to devalue against the dollar. So you got dollar devaluation. That means all assets should continue to go up until that pauses or stops. Which long term, I think it doesn't. I mean, it's not going to stop. It's just going to continue. They're going to keep devaluing the currency, and we all know that. So you'll get pauses in these bull runs. You'll get pauses in these, these bubbles. You just get a bubble, a crash, a consolidation period where nothing is going on, and then a reset, and then more money printing, and then more devaluation, and then you start the next cycle, the next bubble. It's just on and on and on and on and on and on. That's what it is. And so if you guys know that, you guys understand what to do long term. And in the short term, you could play these really high risk plays, but you just have to be able to get out of them to capture the value, so you don't get stuck holding them, because those high risk plays may not be around, next cycle. Okay. So really, what you should be doing is rolling that stuff into Bitcoin. And if you do want the cash, then take the cash. That's it. That's all I got, boys. Hopefully it was informative. Just stay patient. I think this is going to be the most explosive part of the run. If you've been in altcoins and you've been holding them for the last couple of years, well, this is where you're going to make all your money. So just chill. All right. And that's it. That's all I got. The day-to-day stuff here, whatever, pullbacks, overbought, oversold, how you just need to, manage that risk, man. That's it. If you're doing that stuff. Okay. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Catch you guys next week. Hopefully it's a green week.